Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. My name is Cheyne Walls and I make my living as a fine art nature photographer who truly depends on his watches when I'm out in the field, and they're an intricate tool in my photography process. Now let's talk some watches, and I apologize with the red eyes, bags under my eyes. We just got back from a rough trip to Death Valley. It was so windy. It was a rough one. But you can see behind me here in this picture, we got a great image, but oh God, the wind was blowing 120 degrees. It's nice to be in AC, back in AC. Okay, back to it. Now, there are so many incredible watches out there, and thank you to you again. I had so much fun researching all these watches because I'm no watch expert. I think I know enough to get myself in trouble a little bit. Buying my earlier watch, the Rolex Explorer 2, I was just blown away by how good it was and how it handled all these really tough conditions that I put it in. So I thought the next step was just another Rolex. But again, thanks to you, I looked at all these other amazing watches and I thought it'd be fun and interesting for you just to talk about why I did decide, because it was a hard decision, to keep with Rolex and go with the Rolex Submariner Date. Now, all these watches I'm about to talk about, I did actually hold in my hand. I went to the boutique. I did a ton of research on them, but most of the research is either through YouTube or online. So just so you kind of know where I'm coming from. And I'm not bad-mouthing any of these watches. All these watches are amazing and anyone's lucky to have them. They just didn't quite fit me or fit my needs as perfectly as the Rolex Submariner Date. So let's jump right into it. The big heavy hitter that was probably the closest to the Submariner that I was really thinking about getting was the Omega Seamaster 300M Diver. This is a gorgeous watch, especially in the green. The main reason I didn't go with this Seamaster, I didn't like the metal band and I didn't like the rubber strap options on this. That was the main reason. And taking a quick step back, I guess I should say what I'm really looking for in a watch. It needs to be extremely tough, extremely accurate, as well as to be able to be at home both in the wilderness, really rough and tough, dangerous areas, and be home at a fine art, high-end event. It needs to be able to work in all those situations. And again, I think the Rolex Submariner fits that almost perfectly. And also too, I want my romantic side of this is I want to be able to have this watch for decades upon decades upon decades. I want to be able to hand this down. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in a watch. And really thinking about it, almost all the watches we're going to talk about today could fit that criteria. Just me personally, the Rolex Submariner Date did it the best. The green Omega Seamaster, again, such a good watch. The metal band and the rubber strap, it wasn't the most comfortable to me. I'm not a big rubber strap guy. As well as if I'm being completely honest, the helium escape valve, not the best look. Looks aren't the most important to me. I need a tough watch. But those were pretty much the three main reasons why I didn't go for the Omega. Yes, it's $5,000 cheaper, but for something I'm keeping from the rest of my life, hopefully, I'm willing to spend a little extra money to get exactly what I want. Taking a side step to the right, the Omega Planet Ocean. This is a great watch. I actually owned one for about a year. Truly enjoyed it. The reason why I didn't go back to it is the thickness of it. It's just a tiny bit too thick, and I did wear this with suits, and it just kept getting caught. It would pass. It was a good pass for kind of wearing it at luxury events, high-end events, but it wasn't perfect. It's really thick, great watch, amazing. I think it goes down to 600 meters if I remember correctly. I'm never going to use that. So that's why I did the pass on the Planet Ocean. But I will tell you this, there will be, especially with this new summer blue, there will be a Planet Ocean in my future as kind of a fun watch, probably in the years to come. The Tudor Black Bay, another top contender. The main reason I stayed away from the Tudor Black Bay is I really need a date on my watches. I travel a ton and I don't like having my cell phone in my pocket all the time, so I need the quick date on my watch. And the Black Bay didn't come with very many options. The only options with the date window were with kind of a gold coloring, so I didn't really like that, as well as if I went to more of their GMT models, I don't need another GMT watch. I already have my Explorer 2. So that's kind of the main reason I stayed away from the Tudor Black Bay and Black Bay Pro. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm no watch expert, and if I'm messing something up or something doesn't seem right, all my research again was on YouTube or online. Please tell me in the comments below, let me know. Blancpain, the first real true dive watch. I was very interested in both the Bathyscale and its bigger brother, the 50 Fathoms. 50 Fathoms though was just a tiny too expensive for me and a little too big. The Bathyscale, a little bit smaller, looks good, looks tough. It's not cost certified. It costs about the same as the Submariner. And there's looks wise, it's a little too simple for me, and I'm not a big fan of the syringe hands on it. So these are nitpicky things, I understand that, but for this much money, I want to get exactly what I want. So want to breathe some new life into your home or office? Why not do it with some fine art nature photography? Through my exclusive fine art photography, I celebrate the beauty and grandeur of nature, but also the solitude and peace that I feel when I'm outdoors. Limited to only 18 prints per image, I use the best possible cameras when capturing that perfect moment in time, allowing for amazing image quality on any scale. Industry-leading printers with top quality materials to create these nature scenes as if you were there witnessing them for yourself. Check out my website for more information on these award-winning photographs. The CQ series from Glasuta Original, and I hope I'm pronouncing all this right. These are by far, I think, the prettiest watches out of all these. Both the Pano Date and the smaller one. I think the Pano's 43 millimeter, which was a little too big for me, and I think it was priced more than the Submariner. The smaller one, 39 millimeters, great size, and match the pricing of the Submariner. The reason why I stayed away from these is I've heard horror stories that they're just so hard to service here in the States, and their intervals are a lot closer together. It's 4-year intervals for maintenance, whereas the Rolex is 10. So that's kind of why I stayed away from them. A little bit more upkeep than the Rolex Submariner, as well as neither one is cost certified, as well as I'm hearing from the reviews that they're not the best with magnetism. And me going in and out of airports all the time, getting wanded and going through the detectors, I think that would cause a problem for me. So that's the main reason why I stayed away from them. But again, those are gorgeous, gorgeous watches. Just, I don't think they're quite as tough and accurate as I need, especially for that kind of price point that matches the Submariner. I think the Submariner was a little bit better fit for me personally. These are definitely more unique watches than the Rolex Sub, but I'm not really looking for unique or being unique. I just need something down and dirty that looks kind of nice, that I can put through hell and I don't have to service every couple of years. Anything Breitling, I'm kind of staying away from that brand at the moment. I'm still a little sour with them. They were my first luxury watch purchase. I got one of their classic AVIs, their chronograph, the Mosquito. And within a couple months of just wearing it out, hiking and everything like that, it just stopped working. And sending it into Breitling, they didn't consider what I do with my watch's regular wear and tear. And they wouldn't fix it under warranty. So I'm a little sour on them. So I'm just kind of staying away from them. They make gorgeous, gorgeous watches. If you've had better experiences, please let me know, because I would love to get back into the brand. The Mark 10 from IWC. I was very excited when I found this watch, especially the green dial version, and really dove deep looking into this watch, but was bummed to find out, again, not cost certified, and a lot of stuff on YouTube, they're showing they're running 10, 15 seconds slow or fast each day. And that's just not something for, I mean, the price point you should, I would think, again, no expert, get a little bit better than that, but that's what turned me off to that watch. But it would have been such, if it was more accurate, it would have been such a good fit. Good looking watch. From what I hear, IWCs are very tough. It's just the accuracy just turned me off to this watch. The Tudor Pelagos. I wish the smaller version had a date window. It would have been perfect, especially in titanium. That would have been, that I might have even actually gone for if it had the date window. The bigger version with the blue or the black or the left-hand drive crown, good. Little bulky for me. They're the kind of the higher side of 42 millimeters. I just stayed away. I'm not the biggest fan of their dial design. Again, small, nitpicky things. That's where I kind of stayed away. But if the smaller Pelagos, titanium, had a date window, this could be a different story. Grand Seiko watches. Now, I do need your help with this one because there's just so much to go over with all those watches and all the technology. And to be honest, I was a little intimidated going through their website and just learning about it. And I know they're the most accurate watches, but I saw that they have maybe like a spring drive or something with electronics in the watch that just times out the automatic movement to be perfect. And I couldn't quite figure out which movements, all this kind of stuff. It all got convoluted through their website. So I just kind of stayed away from them in general because I don't want any batteries or electronics in my watch. I want it all automatic and natural, but all mechanical, I guess is a better word. Just in the way that I do a ton of snow camping and I'm in sub-zero temperatures all the time in the winter. It's just batteries and electronics don't do well at sub-zero temperatures. So I just try to avoid them. That's why I have problems with my G-Shocks when I'm out snow camping, again, these cold temperatures. So I just I want to look a lot more into Grand Seiko because it's amazing what they're doing over there and the technology. We'll see if it kind of spills over into other brands, but that was very interesting, but it's too much. They're too smart watches for me. So I just stayed away from it. So now finally, the watch I did choose, the Rolex Submariner Date. And I went with this one just because it's extremely accurate. It's certified to +2, -2 seconds a day. This one, over the last few days that I've had it, is running just under a second fast a day. That's incredible. And that's better than all the other watches we've talked about. As well as it might be on the pricier side, but the way I'm looking at it, I'm gonna have this watch for the next 30, 40, 50 years, and we'll be using it as a tool out in the field for my business. So I think the price at, I think it's $10,250 right now. That's steep right up front, but if you take that over the 40, 50 years of using it as a tool, I mean, I pay more for cameras and they don't last nearly that long. So I'm looking at it as an investment. Heaven forbid, I never want to do this, but looking at it as a business tool, if I do need to sell it, I'll get at least my money back, if not making a profit. Did I make the right decision going for the Rolex Submariner Date? Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know all the watches I missed. I'm sure there's a ton of them and I love hearing from you, new ideas for watches. Thank you again so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Next week, we'll have this out in the mountains, out in the field, really putting it to the test, see if it is still a true tool watch. Thanks again. Cheers.